to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to negotiate a deal.
Well, it's about time.
We're trying to solve a problem. You don't have the cards. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You don't have the cards. Having cards. Right? You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
We can help Europe because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support. They really gave a lot.
But they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
Don't argue with me. No. Okay. They don't like each other. They don't like each other. This is not a love match. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. People will tell you I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about.
Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's in the destruction. With respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
We're trying to solve a problem. You don't have the cards. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You don't have the cards. Having cards. Right? You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice souls and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. You got to be more thankful because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards. I've empowered you to be a tough guy. I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty. We're trying to solve a problem. You don't have the cards. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You don't have the cards. Having cards. Right? You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You see the hatred he's got for Putin, it's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with him either.
He hates us. He hates Ukrainians. He wants to destroy us.
You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough, but you're never going to get a deal that way, so... You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? It doesn't work that way. They respect me. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. We're trying to solve a problem. You don't have the cards. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to a YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it.
Test. There it is. There it is. We got it. We got it. What is going on, everybody? What did we say? God, man, there were some good ones. Hold on, let me see. I think I wrote it down. Left something. Nah, I don't know where I wrote it down. I have to start a new one. Was in another one, another notebook. But anyways. Oh, it's Monday. It's Monday, and we are back. We are live. I had a great weekend. The Democratic Socialists of America held a leadership conference through the weekend, and yours truly got to facilitate and be an instructor for some of the classes. So that was actually a lot of fun. The lefty losers. Nah. I'm thinking like leftoids. What's up, my beautiful leftoids? I don't know. We'll see. You know, it's just one of those things. It's either gonna stick or it's not gonna stick. You know, like beta that stuck, and that's never going anywhere. I feel like this chair is too low. There you go. Righty tighty, lefty loose. Yeah. No, I had a lot of fun doing that this weekend. I highly suggest you all find a DSA chapter in your area and get involved. It's the least we can do right now, right? It's not, you're probably not going to change in the world. There's no revolution coming. There's no breaking into the White House and taking over. None of that. But we could help the people around us mitigate some of that pain, right? And I think that stuff is important to do. I hope everybody else had a great weekend. Did you see I got kicked out of my local city council meeting last Monday? No. Where did you share that? I did not see that. That's kind of wild. Where did you put that in the Discord somewhere? Allow me to go look. Content alert. Nope, that's me. Terminally online. General, see Elite, Dr. Midnight, Kaiser. Yeah, I don't see it. U.S. headlines. Yeah. Ping me, and wherever you did it. I want to see. Is there a video of it? If there's a video of it, that'd be awesome. I want to know what happened. I want to know what you did. What did you do to get kicked out? Because disruption to some bullshit is always a good thing. This is the only John Cena I want to see. No, I can't see it. Yeah, you're gonna have to ping me. Yeah. So what did everybody else do? Oh, you found it. Thank you very much. What did everybody else do this weekend? Oh, General. Okay, you put it up there. That's why. Oh. Oh, wow. There's a video of it. All right, let's check this out. Let's see what's going on with the nerdy redneck.
We have had.
Oh, no? But you see you get kicked out, though. Like, he addresses you?
So here.
Okay, it's 20 seconds. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Let's check this out.
Okay. So here's the situation. We care about people. I care about people.
F-35s, fighter jets.
You can't see it. You can't see it. Even if it's right next to it, you can't see it.
CGBRDF with 18 prime subs. That's what's up. Portland DSA Steering Committee Candidate Forum. Portland DSA Steering Committee Candidate Forum. Yep. But what? I don't understand. What is those are words? You about to send me a link or something? It's hard to hear me. Yeah, no, this is good. So in case you don't hear her, they go. You asked what we did. Oh, got it. Yeah, see, there's this delay, and then my brain, like, I got like that thing, like a memento. I'm gonna start getting tattoos of things all over me, and then like I wait a little bit, and it's gone. It's out of my head. Like, I had a great weekend. Thanks for asking. I asked. No, that's good. So let's check this out. Okay, I'll shut up.
Okay. So here's the situation. We care about people. I care about people.
His face.
No disruptions, please. Chief,
Do you want to have a steering contest?
go ahead, Councilor Latino.
Thank you.
Jesus. What does he do? Like, what is well, obviously he's probably some goof. You want to have a staring contest? Is that what we're doing right now? Jeez. Were they passing some garbo? Were they passing some booty stuff? I watched a lot of wrestling, solidified my WrestleMania trip to Vegas. You're gonna go to Vegas and watch WrestleMania. Wow. How is that? Does that feel like that sounds expensive? Is it? Is it an expensive thing to do? Set lay ordinance and no more protest signs on the chamber. I'm going to WrestleMania. And wait a minute, is that two people? Oh no, same person. I'm like, oh, no, yeah, I gotcha. Maneater played a lot of. I just saw it. Where'd it go? Played a lot of tennis. 3 games. Oh, there it is. Played 3 games of tennis this weekend. My body is tired. Yep, I was tired too. Like when you were Clawlin, what's going on? Welcome back. I'm sorry, C. Lawlin. When you were like waking up and leaving to go to tennis, I was super tired. And then when I woke up like 2 hours later and you were coming back home, actually you weren't even home yet. I was tired then too. It was rough. Did I see the arrest of Chris Cluey? No, I didn't. Let's see. Let's look. Let's do this, and then we're gonna get into what we're gonna be talking about today. Is it Cluey? Is this like an African dude or? Oh no, this is a white dude. This is a American writer. All right. Oh no, I'm looking at somebody else. Fired. Are we talking about a punter? Cluey was arrested this month after protesting a city council meeting in Huntington Beach. Oh, got it. Hola, Lefes, ¿qué tal? Bueno te ver. Espero que esté bien. It is good to see you too. Hold on, I got this. What's up? It's good to see you. I hope you are good. Bro, the Spanish lessons are kicking in. Ex-NFL dude. Let's see. Let's just put it over here so we can read this together. Oh, actually.
Of his anti-MAGA statement.
How can I hear him? Oh, I know why. I always make this mistake. I will just continue to keep making it, I guess. Install and run Google Widevine? No. How about that?
Meeting. Former NFL punter Chris Clue is speaking out after he was fired from his coaching job.
I said Chloe.
Following his fiery protest at a Huntington Beach City Council meeting. Clue attended the meeting to speak out against the city's decision to install a commemorative plaque that featured a MAGA reference at a local library.
Now, 10 days later, he says he was fired from his job for exercising his First Amendment rights. KTLA's Rachel Menitoff is live in Huntington Beach with details on the fallout and reaction from Chris Cluey himself. Rachel.
Hi, good evening. Chris Cluey is a Huntington Beach native. He went to high school here. He says he's disappointed. He believes his firing is a direct result of his anti-MAGA statements at City Hall. Former NFL Minnesota Vikings punter Chris Cluey says he was fired from his job as a high school football coach this week.
So we can find it.
MAGA is profoundly corrupt.
Cluey believes it stems from this moment. He protested at a recent Huntington Beach City Council meeting, denouncing the MAGA movement and refused to leave the area where council members sit.
I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience. Get the heck. Get out.
Police ultimately carried him out and arrested him. He was among dozens of people objecting the installation of a plaque at the Central Library with a Donald Trump-inspired motif. The plaque, meant to celebrate the library's 50th anniversary, made national headlines because of its use of the acronym MAGA, a reference to Trump's Make America Great Again slogan.
I'm disappointed.
Magical, alluring. Like, what is this? That's like some children's shit right here. Magical, alluring, galvanizing, adventurous. MAGA. How fucking stupid. How fucking estúpido. Yeah, that's pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb. Let's see what we got. Yep, there we go. We got Huntington Beach. Is that MAGA Huntington Beach? Yeah, that sucks. CE Rouse, what's going on? Labor notes. Well, this is some news coming out of Oregon. What do we got here? Oregon nurses end 46-day strike with pay and staffing agreements. This is how you do it, people. This is how you do it. After 46 days on the picket line, nurses walk back into 8 Providence hospitals across Oregon in good spirits after ratifying a new contract with their employer February 26th. Their effort was bolstered by striking doctors, nurse practitioners, and other hospitalists at Providence, St. Vincent's, and doctors, nurses, and midwives at the Providence Women's Clinic. And you know, DSA Portland was out there. Over the course of the strike, ONA announced victories in union elections at 3 other Oregon hospitals, showing 2,300 additional Oregon nurses are happy to be part of a militant striking union. We're paying it forward to the unions coming after us, said Botterill. We're strengthening our union and growing our nation. That's what's up. That is what's up. What's dumb, Clawlin? The plaque? I agree. Sock now, Disney. Disney what? And who has 40 cases of dysentery? The leftovers. That's what it is. I like that. I like that. Especially given my love for food. Oregon has 40 plus cases of dysentery. That's rough. The plaque was. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was. Look at that. Magical, alluring, galvanizing. God, it's embarrassing, man. I swear, like the conservatives, like right now, the Republicans gotta be the most cringe people, and I cannot believe they like picture themselves as the picture of like cool or manly, right? It's always, and I'm just baffled by it. Baffled. You know, I first of all, I think it's fine to be cringe. I think it's fine to be weird and cringe and silly and goofy and dorky. Like, you could do that if you want, right? Objectively speaking, there's plenty of people on the left that are all of those things, and it's fine. However, when you look at it objectively, right? The conservatives think like they're the ones who are normal, and the left are the ones that are all weird and dorky and quirky and whatever, right? I'm like, are you watching? Are you watching what's going on here? You know, have you seen what people? We're gonna watch the meeting between Trump and JD Vance with Zelensky, and you're gonna watch. And I promise you, I've seen it on social media. I've seen it praised inside where I used to work in the military. And they see stuff like that, and we look at that and go, man, this is wild. This is embarrassing. This is a shameful event right here. And I promise you, these people who like eat paint chips for snacks are like, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You shut it down. Finally, we got a president who stands up to the. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm at the plaque. As for this, I'm a union skeptic. Wah wah. That's my wah wah button. But I may be attributing blame. I don't know if the reason my old office job was useless was because of the union, because of the federal agency we were showing compliance with, or just because of the inefficiency of the corporation itself. Depending on how you look at it, you can blame. I will tell you, it could be both. You know, I would say it's definitely fine to be skeptical of your leadership, and there are definitely ineffective, bad, corrupt unions out there. That's no organization is immune to that. But if your union is democratically run, I would say if it's not, then it's probably not a union. But if it's democratically run, then that should motivate workers within that union to run, to say, you know what, we need new leadership in here and get in there. And that's why
F-35s,
the
fighter jets.
button.
You can't see it. You literally can't see it.
Sig Bang, Architect of Sin. Subscribe for 20 months. That's what's up. That's what's up. I love seeing these Bezos bucks come in too. For those of you who don't know, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, link that up to your Twitch account, and you get 1 free sub per month. And if you so choose,
F-35s,
you can go ahead and do that to your
jets.
boy.
You can't
Dr.
see it.
Midnight.
You literally can't see it. Even if it's right next to it, you can't see it.
Dr. Midnight coming in with some more Bezos bucks. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. There he goes right here. Your union is only as strong as the membership's willingness to fight for it, right? So the reason why you got the wah-wah button was because, the concept of a union, that is what we should be fighting for, because that is the method, right? That is the vehicle by which we have to do as socialists and put power into the workers' hands, right? It's not a panacea. It's not a all fix to everything. It's not, unions don't bring socialism into a capitalist society, but it gives power to the worker, and that's what we're all about. It is unfortunate when you have corrupt unions or ineffective unions, but I would say not to, at the risk of sounding victim blaming, I would say that I would hope that if I was in a union that was subpar and doing nothing, that I would then run and get people, galvanized, make them feel magical and adventurous, alluring, galvanizing and adventurous. You know what I mean? Like, we need to have these qualities in our life. Labor Notes is a movement for union militancy and union reform. So there you go. There you go. Friday was a shit show. The UN is going to help Canada and Mexico build walls to keep us out. Good. As they should. And the rest of the world is going to base the UN military to govern the seas, to keep the stupid in the U.S. Okay. So I've heard a couple different theories out there, and I've been chewing on this for a second. What happens to the U.S. With regard to the world's response to Trump's BS is going to teeter. Everything balances on where can BRICS go, right? If BRICS can win and the yen becomes global currency, right? And this might look like EU companies allying with China. That would be crazy. Then absolutely I could say that I could see that happening. Countries kicking us out, us losing our base. But let me tell you something. I wouldn't hold my breath. Outside of that happening, I wouldn't hold my breath for any country that exists right now, save maybe a few, any country to sacrifice billions on principle, right? No country's going to do that. No country's going to risk war with the United States, whether the United States, it's not even about the United States winning. It's about, if the United States comes down and parks on our ocean, who's going to come help us? You know what I mean? So billionaires like staying billionaires. People don't want to enter into a war. And if Trump starts getting more Putin-minded, I could see him sending down carrier groups, parking them off the side of shores and saying, are you sure you want to not let us, export with you anymore? Or, have import-exports with you, a trade agreement? Are you sure you don't want, we would be mortified. We would be like, what the fuck country do I live in? But if we control the dollar, I promise you there are very few countries who are going to kick us out or risk, because that's just the way the fucking world works. You know, it would be nice if people worked off principle and said, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna be hurting for a little bit, but we're gonna realign towards China, and we're gonna figure out a different way, and it'll be a rough patch, but nope, nobody's gonna do that. You know why? Because people, especially in the West, are very short. Like they're very. Their vision doesn't go very much past their nose. Okay, one of the biggest things that I remember reading when I was in military history, it was the difference between Western societies and like Far Eastern societies is our concept of time. In Western capitalist societies, people only give a fuck about like what is their personal legacy, right? So presidents who want to start something that takes 50 years to complete, they're not going to put a lot of time and energy into that. They need stuff, they need immediate and like actionable stuff right now, because that sort of stuff affects re-elections, right? And so if elections are every 2 years, I don't want to partake into a project that takes 20 years to complete. I don't get to put that on my resume, you know, type shit, right? But Far East are like that's not how China does shit. China's over here enacting the what do they call it? I forget what it's called. The Great Road or some shit. What is it called? The Big Circle. They know that shit's gonna take like 50 years, and they're just trucking along. You know what I mean? How many leaders are gonna go through in the next 50 years? That's fine. Because we want our future. We're gonna position ourselves to become the next world power. What are you guys talking about? Most unions are filled. Some studies have shown a trend. As for JD Vance, oh wow, you guys, I'm not reading all that shit. I'm sure it was good. I'm sure it was good shit. You guys are. What's my door open? A study analyzing data from the National Longitude Survey of Youth found that the rate of obesity was nearly identical in union and non-union jobs at approximately 42%. So being healthy is the biggest inequality. Disproportionately. I think unions do laziness society. Most unions are filled with hardworking class who works hard and Some studies have shown a trend towards lower obesity rates toward union members, suggesting that union members membership could be associated with better health outcomes related to weight management. So fuck off, scab. Is that to somebody in particular? Damn, CG's getting spicy. Let me tell you all something. You can't mess with CG and labor. Like that's his life. That's CG's lifeblood. Let's see here. I'm just saying, but Friday was ridiculous. I mean, asking this guy about a suit and oh yeah, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at that for sure. What's going on here? There it is. Man-eater, wow. I think it's safe to say China is the superpower. China is I think China's is poised to be next. I think unless the United States somehow does some turnaround, which I just don't see happening. The fact of the matter is Trump won a second term having already won we got to experience Trump for 4 years. This is what let me tell you something that people keep repeating. This is something that the Republicans keep repeating. And I really hate to tell people, but he's fucking right. And when I say he, I mean like the people who say this, whoever says this. The president of the United States right now, Donald Trump, is executing a mandate based off the vote. There is nothing that's happening right now that he didn't say he wanted to do while he was on the campaign trail. Right? Like even all this stuff about Project 2025, the only thing that The only thing that I would say was against Project 2025 was pretending to not have ever heard of it. But if you listen to his campaign promises while he was on the trail, they still were the same. So then most of the electorate, right? And we can't even talk about the Electoral College because he won the popular vote too. Most of the electorate voted for this guy based off of all the shit he's doing right now. And by that, I'm not so sure that the United States is ever gonna have a comeback, because I think, I don't know, well, the first time in my lifetime, right, in almost 45 years, we had a complete vote against your own self-interest event, and they're like, yeah, this is what. Oh, VA people firing? Sure. Some like true believer, old man is mad that the VA, a lot of veterans lost their jobs. But let me tell you something. Those millennials and young Gen Xers they don't give a fuck, especially if they're not VA. You know what I mean? Especially if they're not veterans. They don't give a shit. We're having a good one in here. What's going on? Among those who avoid sugar and high carb foods, there's almost no obesity. When I first developed chronic pain, yeah, Trust and Media was there, and they are loving Trump right now. Yep, he had a Nazi rally in NYC. Yep, and look what's happening with his President Elon Musk. Like, he's literally meeting with alt-right neo-Nazi German parties, and people are like, so, it's cool now to do the Nazi salute. So, all right, let's get into what we're gonna be going over today. Obviously, we're gonna be talking about the Trump-Zelensky deal. And hey, Headquake, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. We will kick off with Democracy Now! We'll go over a couple headlines. Today, Donald Trump was that today? Yep, 6 hours ago, did a press conference. We'll watch that, see if there's anything interesting there. And then watch the meeting between Trump, Vance, and Zelensky. And then Servo, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And then we're going to watch a documentary because it is Monday. Monday is the day we do the thing. Monday is where we learn some shit. I'm going over a couple of headlines today because I didn't stream on Friday. But for those who are new here, we do some learning. We do some big brain stuff on Monday. And then we go over headlines for the Fallout Report on Fridays. Yeah, we're gonna get learned up over here. But as always, we're gonna listen to my lady over on Democracy Now!
Democracy depends on a free press. Please support our independent journalism at democracynow.org/give. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Leaders in Europe held an emergency summit in London Sunday, 2 days after an unprecedented clash at the White House between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and both President Donald Trump and Vice President JD Vance. Zelensky had traveled to the White House to sign a deal giving the United States partial control over Ukraine's raw earth minerals. But the deal imploded following a dramatic televised Oval Office meeting where Trump accused Zelensky of gambling with World War III after Zelensky insisted Ukraine could only back a Russia peace deal if it included security guarantees from the United States. The news conference ended with Trump and JD Vance openly criticizing Zelensky.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't.
Walking away from our last.
I'm skipping that because we're going to watch it later.
allies and embracing Putin a threat to democracy and U.S. values around the world, unquote. Meanwhile, House Speaker Mike Johnson suggested Zelensky may need to step down following the White House meeting. After leaving Washington, Zelensky traveled to London to meet on Saturday with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who warmly greeted Zelensky outside 10 Downing Street. On Sunday, Starmer hosted an emergency meeting of European leaders. He called for a coalition of the willing to be formed to support Ukraine if a peace...
Let me tell you something right here. I want you to look at this picture. I want you to look at this picture, and I want you to... and I'm saying this because people sometimes think I am just like slobbing on the boots of the United States. You know, people think that it's that sometimes I'm just blinded by American exceptionalism. I want you to look at this picture, and I want you to understand that the people in this picture all have said, we cannot do this without the United States. That's how much money is involved when it comes to our country. I don't think people understand just how much of the global wealth we control. These are all of... everybody in this picture is a world leader, and they do not have the economy combined. They do not have the economy to replace the United States. When we stop aid, it's fucked. It's fucked. It's like if Hitler controlled all of the money, and Hitler says, "Come here. If you don't come do my Hitler shit, I am going to starve your family out." And maybe you're fine for yourself, but that means starving your kids out, everything. And you have to decide, do I say, don't care, I guess me and my family are going to starve, I'm not doing Hitler shit. No, you're going to go do Hitler shit because you don't want to see your kids starve. That's what we do to the world. We do that. This whole picture right here cannot replace the aid we were giving to Ukraine. And that's fucking wild. It's disgusting. It's nauseating.
Peace deal is reached.
We will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace. The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing.
There you go. There you go. I didn't even pre-watch this. I did hear that interview earlier though. But that's the part I heard earlier where I was like, sometimes you're reminded. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like we control way too fucking much money. And I hope I'm alive the day I see the US lose its stranglehold. We're never gonna fall. It's not gonna happen. I think at worst I would see the United States becoming like, I don't know, like a Rome or something, you know, not Rome, Spain or something, you know what I mean? Like a regular ass country with regular money, you know? But the fact of the matter is that our population and tax dollars, I mean, I hate it. I hate it here. End simulation. No, nothing. All right.
Meanwhile, France is pushing for a one-month truce between Russia and Ukraine. While almost all of Europe is backing Ukraine, Hungary's authoritarian leader Viktor Orban praised Trump, saying, quote, "Strong men make peace, weak men make war." President Trump stood bravely for peace, even if it was difficult for many to digest, Orban said. In other fallout from the White House meeting, a major Norwegian fuel supplier, Haltbach Bunkers, has announced it's halting fuel sales to U.S. ships. The company said, quote, "Today we witnessed the biggest disgrace ever put on display by the current U.S. president and his vice president," unquote. In other news on U.S.-Russian relations, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered U.S. Cyber Command to suspend offensive cyber operations targeting Russia.
So check this out. I heard this earlier. I forget whose stream I was watching, but I heard them talking about this. And this, no, it wasn't a stream. It was people on Threads talking about this. Okay, here's what she just said. She said Hegseth has ordered the United States to cease offensive operations, cyber warfare operations against Russia. Good. What? And people are like, oh, this is crazy. No, we shouldn't be doing offensive operations against anyone. And it kind of shows our hand, I feel. Like if you are, I don't know, China, like if you're going to make I need you all to understand how stupid our leadership is in this country, okay? I need you all to hear me out. Whether or not we are conducting offensive operations, especially cyber attack, is classified at the highest fucking level. At the highest level. And like any top secret classified stuff, knowing what you're doing, even if you have the clearance, is also classified. Like you have to have a need to know. It's all compartmentalized. Now, this dumbass, obviously with the approval of our president, says, I want to announce that we are ending offensive operations to Russia so they can be friends with us. That's weird because just saying that admits a top secret. You're not supposed to confirm or deny this type of shit. We are led by idiots. But that wasn't my point. My main point is that no, we shouldn't be having offensive attacks on cyber warfare. You want defense, right? You want hackers to be able to secure our information, but why would we be mad that we're not attacking Russia's information systems? Like, no, what? Good.
The Pentagon has not publicly discussed the policy change, but National Security Advisor Mike Waltz told CNN the United States would use, quote, all kinds of carrots and sticks to get this war to an end, unquote. Meanwhile, on Sunday, Russian state television aired an interview with Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov talking about Trump. He said, quote, the new administration is rapidly changing all foreign policy configurations. This largely aligns with our vision, unquote. On Friday, a member of Russia's state-owned news agency, TASS, gained access to the Oval Office during the clash between Zelensky and President Trump, while reporters from the Associated Press and Reuters were excluded. The White House said the Russian reporter was not approved and was eventually removed. The United Nations and many Arab nations have condemned Israel for cutting off all food and humanitarian aid into Gaza. Egypt and Qatar accused Israel of using starvation as a weapon of war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced the blockade as Israel attempts to pressure Hamas to agree to a new proposal by the United States that would force Hamas to release all remaining hostages without Israel fully withdrawing from Gaza. Hamas has accused Israel of trying to derail the original ceasefire agreement. Over the past 2 days, Israeli troops have killed at least 9 Palestinians in Gaza. Residents in Gaza denounce the new Israeli blockade.
Suffering will increase after the occupation's decision to close the crossings. Frankly, since the beginning of the war, they have been trying to starve us, and we fear the people will starve due to the lack of aid and food supplies. Additionally, people are afraid of the return of war and facing death again. Isn't it enough that the occupation has killed 50 or 60,000 murderers so far?
The Trump administration is fast-tracking another $4 billion in weapons to Israel, including more than 35,000 2,000-pound bombs as well as 4,000 Predator warheads. Secretary of State Marco Rubio signed an emergency declaration that bypasses Congress to expedite the arms shipment. The Trump administration has approved $12 billion in arms for Israel over the past 5 weeks. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is urging the Trump administration to reverse its sweeping cuts to international humanitarian programs, saying it'll make the world less healthy, less safe, and less prosperous.
The consequences will be especially devastating for vulnerable people around the world.
South Africa is one nation that could be particularly...
Is that what you think is happening, Frank Fortina? You think all leftists, which I promise you probably don't even know what that is, but you think all people on the left just don't want any peace deal done, regardless of how it's done? Is that what you're getting out of this? It's pretty smart. It's a pretty smart move.
Particularly hard hit by Trump's foreign aid cuts. An official at the Desmond Tutu HIV Center is warning the funding cuts to HIV projects could lead to 500,000 deaths in South Africa over the next 10 years. Meanwhile, an advisor to the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation said Trump's halt to foreign aid amounts to a, quote, death sentence for mothers and children, unquote. In related news, a high-ranking official at USAID has been placed on leave after warning in a memo that the administration has failed to protect programs that deliver life-saving assistance despite a promise of waivers by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Nick Enrich, USAID's acting assistant administrator for global health, had written a memo, quote, this will no doubt result in preventable death, destabilization, and threats to national security on a massive scale, unquote. In other Trump news, federal judge Amy Berman Jackson has ruled the head of a key government watchdog was illegally fired. The ruling centered on Trump's firing of Hampton Dellinger, the head of the Office of Special Counsel, which handles whistleblower complaints. In her ruling, Judge Berman Jackson warned against giving Trump a, quote, constitutional license to bully officials in the executive branch into doing his will, unquote. In other legal news, the Democratic National Committee and related groups have sued Trump over his attempt to strip the bipartisan Federal Election Commission of its independence. In immigration news, the Washington Post is reporting the Department of Homeland Security has asked the IRS to hand over detailed information on about 700,000 suspected undocumented immigrants, including their home addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses. According to the Washington Post, the Internal Revenue Service initially refused the request, but the agency's new acting commissioner is reportedly exploring how to comply. Federal law bars the IRS from sharing personal tax information with other government agencies. Meanwhile, President Trump has signed an executive order designating English as the official language of the United States. The move comes weeks after the White House took down the Spanish language version of the official White House.
You know, I don't want to get all into the whole, like, fuck around and find out, and I'm happy for this, that, or the next thing, and it's like, but, you know, nah, never mind. It's not, yeah, okay. Let me tell y'all something. I promise you that these Latino Trumpers that hear that are like, good. So but you know what? You should. I came here and learned English. So should you. So, yeah.
Has been accused of deliberately underreporting and covering up the number of nursing home deaths during the pandemic. Cuomo joins a crowded field ahead of the Democratic primary June 24th as calls grow for New York City Mayor Eric Adams to resign. Adams has been widely accused of accepting a quid pro quo from the White House to enact Trump's immigration crackdown in exchange for the Justice Department pushing for Adams' corruption charges to be dropped. In other news from New York, another prisoner has died. An unnamed 22-year-old at the Mid-State Correctional Facility near Utica was pronounced dead on Saturday. 9 fellow prisoners said the deceased was brutally beaten by prison officers. This comes 2 days after a prison guard union reached a tentative deal with New York Governor Kathy Hochul to end a wildcat strike that's...
I'm only half-ass reading what's going on, the conversation, the food conversation in man-eater sucks. So I might be missing something, but I feel like you guys are not disagreeing. Like you guys are like going in the same direction, but you're like passing each other. Like the idea that we shouldn't be blaming people for obesity, right? The victim blaming that goes along with obesity because our food system is garbage. And the idea that it's not always as simple as eat healthy and you won't be fat are both simultaneously true. And I'm not sure where the disconnect is. I'm not, and maybe it'd be more obvious if I just stopped streaming, but and then read it. But I'm just catching bits and pieces of it. But it seems like you both are saying true things. Yeah, and then I thought I saw Sock now agree, but then it seems like you guys are still arguing. That's weird.
2 weeks ago. The deal suspended parts of the HALT Act, which limits the use of solitary confinement. 2 other prisoners died during the strike.
Yeah, I mean, to say that it's not genetic would just be. It's not even about. It's evidential, right? There are people like you, like a doctor explained it to me, and this was like it clicked in my head because I used to be really big into fitness. And I was big into those calories in, calories out. Eat less than you burn, period, dot. And the doc, who was like a younger dude, also in really good shape, he's like, it's not always. I'm like, okay, here we go, one of these kind of guys. And the way he broke it down to me, he's like, well, like take thyroid problems, for example. If you have a thyroid problem, there's no like eat less. Like your body is just gonna gain weight. And then like that's all he had to say, and it clicked in my brain. I was like, oh my God. Like people started talking about the law of thermodynamics and yada yada yada. And let me tell you, genetics absolutely play a part in the kind of body type you're gonna have. And I think the idea, the fact that genetics absolutely, positively, unequivocally play a part in your body type still goes right into what you're talking about as far as our food industry and the way that we capitalists treat our society, because now we got people that may be genetically predisposed to be overweight and are poor and have mental health issues because we live in a fatphobic society and are fed fucking crap and preservatives and shit that cause cancer, like your regular fucking bacon that they said was good for us in the morning. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff compounds on each other. And I think all of the above are true. All of the above.
Iowa's Republican Governor Kim Reynolds signed into law a bill ending civil rights protections based on gender identity, becoming the first state to repeal civil rights protections for transgender people. Last week, protesters flooded the Iowa Capitol in Des Moines to defend trans rights as lawmakers voted to curtail them. Protesters lined the streets of Waitsfield, Vermont, as Vice President JD Vance arrived for a ski vacation at the Sugarbush Resort this weekend. Nice. Protesters held signs expressing anger at the Trump-Vance administration over everything from its attacks on trans rights, the climate, and Palestinian rights, as well as the pair's treatment of Ukrainian President Zelensky and its mass firing of federal workers. Vance and his family reportedly had to move their stay to an undisclosed location because of the demonstrations. Several protests were also held at Sugarbush Resort. Protests targeting Elon Musk also took place over the weekend. In New York, 9 people were arrested as they demonstrated outside a Tesla dealership. Rallies also took place in front of Tesla retailers in Jacksonville, Florida, Tucson, Arizona, and other cities as protesters held signs reading messages like "No dictators in the USA." In Los Angeles, hundreds demonstrated at the SpaceX facility in Hawthorne. SpaceX has received billions of dollars in government funding and has been apparently trying to take over a $2.4 billion Federal Aviation Administration contract that had already been awarded to Verizon. Meanwhile, thousands gathered at national parks across the country to condemn the firings of at least 1,000 National Park Service workers and to defend public lands. In New York City, hundreds gathered outside the United Nations headquarters Saturday, demanding the Trump administration cancel next week's huge military drills known as Freedom Shield on the Korean Peninsula.
My name's Neon with Nodotol for Korean Community Development, and I'm here today alongside thousands of Koreans and their allies in the U.S. to declare an end to the U.S.-led Freedom Shield war exercises and to demand an end of U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund endless war in Korea. The Korean War has not ended. We're still at a ceasefire, just like in Palestine, except for Korean history has told us 75 years later, the U.S. is still in our homeland. It's still dividing Korea. So we need to demand a complete end to ceaseless war provocations and war games.
South Korea is the site of Camp Humphreys, the world's largest overseas U.S. military installation. And the Oscars were held Sunday evening. History was made in the Best Documentary category.
And the Oscar goes to No Other Land.
No, check this out. Check this out. No Other Land's gonna win, right? By the way, not a perfect documentary. Had a Zionist involved as one of the documentarians. Had IDF soldiers involved in the documentary, but no Hamas or other Islamic fighters fighting alongside of Hamas. And still, just way too positive. The Zionist people online said that Hamas got an Oscar tonight. Watch the crowd as people start standing up for a standing ovation, and watch just how many don't stand up.
The Palestinian-Israeli film No Other Land won for Best Documentary. The film follows the struggles of Palestinians in the occupied West Bank community of Masafer Yatta to stay on their land amidst violent attacks by Israeli settlers aimed at expelling them. The film was made by a team of Palestinian-Israeli filmmakers, including the Palestinian journalist Bassel Adra, who lives in Masafer Yatta, and the Israeli journalist Yuval Abraham. They both spoke at the ceremony, beginning with Bassel Adra, who became the first Palestinian filmmaker to win an Oscar.
Thank you to the Academy for the award. It's such a big honor for the four of us, and everybody supported us for this documentary. About 2 months ago, I became a father, and my hope to my daughter that she will not have to live the same life I'm living now, always fearing settlers' violence, home demolitions, and forest spill displacements that my community, Masafer Yatta, is living and facing every day under the Israeli occupation. No other land reflect the harsh reality that we have been enduring for decades and still persist as we call on the world to take serious actions to stop the injustice and to stop the ethnic cleansing of Palestinian people.
And then here comes. See, here's the part that we're, I really like. Threads is my home. I hope Zuckerberg doesn't jack this up, because I really can't see myself leaving Threads. They did say they said, okay, is it perfect? No. Is it, did they have a sign? Because this guy's about to say some bullshit. It's gonna be hard to, if you are like not Reddit, it's gonna be hard to is it bullshit? Oh, what did he say wrong? He's gonna talk about the hostages. He's gonna start talking about allude to maybe a two-state solution or some other bullshit. And basically, anytime you hear somebody from Israel not acknowledge the displacement of Palestinians, then it's some tap dancing, like I'm trying to figure out how to say the right things without making my country mad, So, but still, what other people were saying is, look, we get it. It's not perfect. They had a Zionist creator, a documentarian on the staff, but it pissed off Zionists, and we need to take this as a W. And that's fair.
We made this film, Palestinians and Israelis, because together our voices are stronger. We We see each other. The atrocious destruction of Gaza and its people, which must end. The Israeli hostages brutally taken in the crime of October 7th, which must be freed. When I look at Bassel, I see my brother, but we are unequal. We live in a regime where I am free under civilian law, and Bassel is under military laws that destroy his life and he cannot control. There is a different path, a political solution without ethnic supremacy, with national rights for both of our people. And I have to say, as I am here, the foreign policy in this country is helping to block this path. And you know, why? Can't you see that we are intertwined? That my people can...
So this is what happens when you don't watch the whole speech. So like after the one that I was seeing, the clip stopped after the October 7th, and it said something about like them having a chance for peace or something like that. And then it keeps going. Yeah, that's legit. Because what it actually sounds like is that he's talking about a one-state solution, because regardless of some of the angry, right, and I think a lot of it is the anger is okay, no, I'm not. The anger is understandable, is what I mean to say. Where you have like just go back to Europe or whatever, yada yada yada, right? That's not the mainstream. Like when we start talking about the free Palestine, it's about allowing a right of return and giving homes back to Palestinians, not deporting people back to Europe or wherever the fuck. It's about a one-state solution where people could live in peace like they did before. That's a good message.
And be truly safe. If Bassel's people are truly free and safe, there is another way. It's not too late for life, for the living. There is no other way. Thank you.
Israeli filmmaker Yuval Abraham and Palestinian filmmaker Bassel Adra, co-directors of No Other Land, which just won the Oscar for Best Documentary. Visit democracynow.org to see our interviews with both of them. And those are some of the headlines.
So we're not going to watch that one today, but we are going to watch the one that BBC took down from their website. So hopefully they don't have some like algorithm crawling the internet looking for this video, because somebody uploaded it on Vimeo and we're going to watch it. Apparently Israelis got super mad because it involved the son of one of the people that narrates it is the son of a Hamas official, I think in the health administration or something. So I forget exactly where, but and because that wasn't disclosed and it has the bias and yada yada yada. But you notice that when I look for the Israeli objection to this film, it was all around who made it and not what actions in the video were true or not true. Just it's very interesting when you look at details like that. So real quick, the rundown. The Dow dropped almost 600, over 600 points because our president is an idiot. More tariffs on Canada, and people are not confident. And our art of the deal, super genius 10D chess president is matter of fact. I want to find that post. Trump is playing chess or some shit post. Like a master chess player. Oh, cringe. Where is it? From one day ago. I can't find it. The above article is from a former leftist Greek finance minister. The unheard. Let's check. What is this about? Yanis Varoufakis. Varoufakis. Faced with President Trump's economic moves, His centrist critics oscillate between desperation and a touching faith that his tariff frenzy will fizzle out. They assume that Trump will huff and puff until reality exposes the emptiness of his economic rationale. They have not been paying attention. Trump's tariff fixation is part of a global economic plan that is solid, albeit inherently risky. Their thinking is hardwired into a misconception of how capital, trade, and money move around the globe. Like the brewer who gets drunk on his own ale, centrists end up believing their own propaganda, that we live in a world of competitive markets where money is neutral and prices adjust to balance the demand and supply of everything. The unsophisticated Trump is, in fact, far more sophisticated than them in that he understands how raw economic power, not marginal productivity, decides who does what to whom. What? Close. So why does the president believe he has been dealt a bad deal? Wait. His vision, blah, 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 blah. His chief complaint is that the dollar supremacy may confer huge powers on America's government and ruling class, but ultimately foreigners are using it in ways that guarantee U.S. decline. So what most consider to be America's exorbitant privilege, he sees as its exorbitant burden. Trump has been lamenting the decline of U.S. manufacturing for decades. If you don't have steel, you don't have a country. But why blame this on the dollar's global role? Because, Trump answers, foreign central banks do not let the dollar adjust downwards to the right level at which U.S. exports recover and imports are restrained. I wish there was like a thing called conclusion, like in a research paper. Like, just, is there like an abstract or a conclusion? Because clearly, wow, that's a long ass read. I'm gonna cut and paste this shit into ChatGPT. I'm like, summarize and read it back to me. All right, here's the last paragraph. Let's see. We'll go up here. Trump's vision of a desirable economic order, of a desirable international economic order, may be violently different from mine, but that gives none of us a license to understand its solidarity and purpose, as most centrists do. Like all well-laid plans, this may, of course, go awry. I like that. I like the way he sets this up. Hedging his bets early. It's like he might be right, but if he's wrong, I mean, shit, it could be wrong too. The depreciation of the dollar may not be sufficient to cancel out the effects of tariffs on prices U.S. consumers pay, or the sale of dollars may be too great to keep long-term U.S. debt yields low enough. But besides these manageable risks, the master plan will be tested on two political fronts. The first political threat to his master plan is domestic. If the trade deficit begins to shrink as planned, foreign private money will stop flooding Wall Street. Suddenly, Trump will have to betray either his own tribe of outraged financiers and realtors, or the working class that elected him. I wonder which one he'll do. Meanwhile, a second front will be opening regarding all countries as spokes to his hub. Trump may soon discover that he has manufactured dissent abroad. Beijing may throw caution to the wind and turn the BRICS into a new Bretton Woods system in which the yuan plays the anchoring role that the dollar played in the original Bretton Woods. Perhaps this would be the most astonishing legacy and comeuppance of Trump's otherwise impressive master plan. Here is, let's check this out. Trump.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a very big day for a lot of reasons, but
some say the biggest.
Very unique man. This, I think I could say in the world of chips, certainly, but in the world pretty much of business, nobody's done what he's done. Very, for those of you that are into that world, you would say, wow, he's a legend, but he is a legend, and it's an honor to be with you. Very great honor. Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Welcoming from TSMC, which is the biggest there is at a level that you can't even calculate, frankly.
Too big.
CC Way to
way
the
too
White
big, they
House
say.
for a very historic announcement. This is a tremendous thing for our country and hopefully for his company. We're also pleased to be joined by Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and White House AI and the crypto czar David Sachs, another. And David, thank you very
Shut
much
up.
for in that they will be investing at least $100 billion in new capital in the United States over the next short period of time to build state-of-the-art semiconductor.
Over the next very short period of time, sir, I don't know if we should read 50 years. Should we read that out? I don't think people are going to appreciate that. Well, we'll say short period of time. People are stupid. They don't care.
Manufacturing facilities. I think mostly it's going to be in Arizona, which is what I understand, which is a great state. I like it because I won it, but I won most of them actually. But I did. We won it, and we won it big. The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America, and it'll be a big percentage of the chips made by his company. But as you know, they're based mostly in Taiwan. And they're far and away the biggest. There's nobody even close. This $100 billion in new investment will go into building 5 cutting-edge fabrication facilities in the great state that we just discussed, Arizona, and will create thousands of jobs, many thousands of jobs.
Nah, Jon Stewart, have you all seen post the People's Fenty cart with the tariffs listed in the breakdown of the cost? No, please link me that. If you have a link to that, let me know.
And the high-paying jobs. In total, today's announcement brings Taiwan semiconductor investments to about $165 billion they've started already. Among the largest new foreign direct investments in the United States, Apple, as you know, made a big announcement last week of $500 billion, and we have some others that have announced. We have many that want to announce, but I don't have time to do all of these announcements, I tell you. But for you, I'm doing the announcement.
Thank you.
This will create hundreds of billions of dollars in economic activity and boost America's dominance in artificial intelligence. And
jeez, it sounds like me reading an article. Is this what it sounds like? I'm sorry, I won't do that again.
Bring everything to build the deal in American labor, and that's exactly
power everything. They power AI. They
I
power your phone. They power your cars, and without.
We must be able to build the chips and semiconductors that we need right here in American factories with American skill and American labor. And that's exactly
I almost
what we're
want him
doing.
to ad-lib.
As you know, Taiwan pretty much has a monopoly on that market.
There it is.
And I think pretty much is not.
You can always tell when he's ad-libbing because that's when he stops reading. It's like he's like, I'm only going to read off this paper. And then when I look up, I'm going to say something stupid.
A term that's even appropriate. They do have a monopoly, and this is a tremendous move by the most powerful company in the world. It's a matter of economic security. It's also a matter of national security for us. And at the same time, Mr. Wei will be able to diversify and have his a tremendous presence in another place, and a very safe place. And I want to thank Taiwan Semiconductor for doing the announcement, and I'd like to ask Mr. Couple of fellas, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great honor.
Mr. President.
Car plants, the people that are doing them are much better off building here because we have the market. We're the market with us more than Europe, and Europe should have given more than us because, as you know, that's right there. That's the border. This country really was like the fence on the border. It was very important to Europe, and I'm not knocking Europe. I'm saying that they were a lot smarter than Joe Biden because Joe Biden didn't have a clue. He just gave money hand over fist, and they should have been able to equalize with us. In other words, if we gave $1, they should have given.
Good night, CG.
$350 billion. They probably gave $100, but on top of it all, they get their money back because they're doing it in the form of a loan, and it's a secured loan. So when I saw that, which I've known about for a little while, I said it's time for us to be smart. At the same time, it's great for them because they get us in the country taking the rare earth. which is going to fuel this big engine, and especially the engine.
And can we get a reaction to what the President just said, that your administration is bringing
the death week? Yes.
Are you considering canceling military aid to Ukraine? And can we get a reaction to what the President just said, that
This is the part I like, because people in the press don't give a shit about what he just said. Every time, it's every president. It's not just Trump. Every president's like, okay, here you go. Here's a press conference, and we're gonna be talking about this environmental protection plan and blah 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 blah. And like, sir, would you like to comment on the sexual assault case that your son is in right now, or some shit?
your administration is bringing U.S. worldview in alignment with Moscow's?
So this is a deal that should have never happened. This is a deal that would have never happened. And it didn't happen for 4 years. It didn't happen. It was never even close to happening.
It's a deal that shouldn't happen. It was the worst deal, and it didn't. It didn't even happen, because they do nothing. They're do-nothing people who make the worst deals. If they made deals, but they don't make deals. What the fuck? What is he saying?
If I were president, would not have happened. And October 7th would have happened.
Well, it didn't happen. You just said it didn't happen. So good. I guess it didn't happen, because if you were president, it wouldn't happen, and it didn't happen. So what
happened in Israel, and inflation wouldn't have happened. And Afghanistan, disastrous. The way they withdrew, not the fact that they withdrew, but the way they withdrew, would have never happened. And we would have had Bagram right now instead of China having it. It was 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. We would have kept Bagram. But
why? Wait, time out. I thought it was always Trump's plan. This is what everybody says. It has always been Trump's plan to pull out of Afghanistan. We would have just done it right. And he's here telling you he would have never pulled out of Afghanistan. We would be there right now at Bagram getting fucking shelled so we could be close enough to China's nuclear plan, or whatever the fuck he's talking about.
One of the biggest air bases in the world. All of these things happened, and it's a shame. But it is what it is, and now we're here. I want to see it end fast. I don't want to see this go on for years and years. Now, President Zelensky supposedly made a statement today in AP. I'm not a big fan of AP, so maybe it was an incorrect statement, but he said he thinks the war's going to go on for a long time. And he better not be right about that. That's all I'm saying.
This project, could this minimize the impact to the U.S. with chips should China decide to isolate Taiwan or China decide to take Taiwan?
Well, it's a very interesting point. It's a great question, actually, but this would certainly, I can't say minimize. That would be a catastrophic event, obviously, but it will at least give us a position where we have, in this very, very important business, we would have a very big part of it in the United States. So it would have a big impact if something should happen.
Pretty
with
likely,
Taiwan.
Dr. Midnight. I would be surprised if Junior doesn't do that.
Relieving Russian sanctions if there is a peace deal.
Well, we're going to make deals with everybody to get this war, including Europe and European nations. And they've acted very well. You know, they're good people. I know most of them are friends of mine. The heads of state, the heads of the various countries, prime ministers from the different. I got four prime ministers and 5 presidents called me over the last 2 days.
Is he slurring?
And they want to work it out. They want to get it worked out. And I think they're also, you know, they're talking money, but the money is less important than the deaths. We're talking thousands of young people a week. And people would say, why do I care about Ukraine, young people? Why do I care about, and not all young, but they're pretty young. You know, Ukraine is running a little bit low.
Man, I hate to do this to y'all. I hate to do this. It hurts me right now. But when we start talking about what's going on right now, the exchange between him and Zelensky is embarrassing. But he's not wrong right here, right? Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying he's right, like, because, oh, wow, he's being actually principled right here. He's right by accident. He wants the war to end. My cat always tearing up my damn carpet. He wants the war to end so that he can take credit for it, and then which means that Ukraine loses parts of his deal. Russia's gonna be, thank you for doing that, and we got what we wanted. And then Ukraine, as a part of the deal, gives him minerals. He wants it because he doesn't give a fuck about humans or sovereign borders, or he doesn't give a shit about any of that. He just wants to come up. That's it. That's all he cares about. Does not care about human life. He's accidentally correct that at some point, you have to say, how many people do we continue to feed into this machine? Like, I don't want to lose parts of my country. Okay, well, okay, so you don't want to lose parts of your country. Got it. Wait, why? Are you just gonna keep feeding people into this shit until what? Until the people you run out? Like, come on.
And they're getting older. They're recruiting older people. It's a very, very sad thing that's happening over there, and we want to get it finished. We want to stop the death.
On the tariffs, is there any room left for Canada and Mexico to make a deal before midnight? And should we expect those Chinese tariffs, the extra 10%, to take effect
No room
tomorrow?
left for Mexico or for Canada. No, the tariffs, they're all set. They go into effect tomorrow.
Mr. President, just to follow up on my colleague's question.
And just so you understand, vast amounts of fentanyl have poured into our country
at City Hall
from Mexico.
Former
and,
NFL
also
Minnesota
from
Vikings
China,
punter
where it
Chris
goes to
Cluey
Mexico
says he
and
was
goes to
fired
Canada.
from his job as a high
And
school
China
football
also
coach
had
this
an
week.
additional 10,
MAGA is
so it's 10
profoundly
plus 10.
corrupt.
Cluey believes it stems
and
from
comes
this
in
moment.
from Canada,
He
and it
protested
comes
at a
in
recent
from
Huntington
Mexico,
Beach
and,
City Council
that's
meeting
a very
denouncing the
important thing to
MAGA
say. Yeah, please
movement
go
and
ahead.
refused to leave the area where council members sit.
I will now engage in the
even talked
time-honored
about that right
American
now.
tradition
right
of
now,
peaceful
we'll see
civil
what
disobedience.
happens. A lot of things are happening right now as we speak. And literally, as we speak, I could give you
Police
an answer and
ultimately
go back
carried
to
him
my
out
office.
and arrested
The beautiful
him. He was
Oval
among
Office.
dozens of people
I could go
objecting
back
the
into the Oval
installation
Office and
of a
find out that
plaque
the
at the
answer is
Central Library
obsolete.
with a Donald Trump-inspired
It's like
motif.
his business.
The
It's
plaque
obsolete.
meant to
You come
celebrate
up with
the
a new
library's
chip and it's
50th
obsolete
anniversary
about 2
made
minutes
national
later, right?
headlines
But that's
because
what's
of
good
its
about
use
his business.
of the
That's why
acronym
he's the only
MAGA,
one
a
that's
reference
successful
to
in it.
Trump's "Make America Great Again" slogan.
I'm disappointed that I won't be able to coach kids this year.
I'm disappointed that Edison kind of caved to the negative feedback.
On Thursday, the football coach says administrators at Edison High School broke the news.
Their exact words were the school's getting too much attention, we have to let you go. And so,
Well,
yeah,
I'll tell you what,
I don't know what
it
went
takes
on
two
behind
to
the scenes. I don't
tango,
know
and you're going to
who
have to
talked
make a deal with
but,
Russia, and you're going to have to
that's
make
what
a
they
deal
told
with
me.
Ukraine.
California
I do
Representative
think-
Dave Min, who
I do
serves
think
this
it's
district,
interesting
is concerned
that
this may be a violation
you
of
have
Cluey's First Amendment
Putin
rights.
We all
who
know the First
invaded
Amendment
a
protects our
sovereign
rights to free
country
speech, and
in
of
order
course,
to
if it was a private
capture
employer, they could fire
land.
at will. But this, in the
Like,
case of a public employer,
I
a
don't
government
fucking,
employer,
I don't get it.
the
And then,
law is
well, it
well
takes two to
settled that
tango.
you have to allow
It's
that
like,
speech.
And
I
despite
go up to
Cluey's
somebody
arrest and a
and punch him in
majority
the
of
face,
dissenting public
and then
comments,
so
the city council
they
voted
defend themselves and start
unanimously
punching
to
me back. I'm
approve
like,
the
hey,
plaque
well, I
with a
mean, you guys are
slightly
both
modified
fighting. What are you
design.
gonna do?
The coach
Like,
says
come
he'll
on.
miss his
Come
freshman team.
I got
and
two
is
vids
sorry
going.
his time here is
What do you
prematurely
mean?
cut
Like,
short.
I'm live on
it's just
Twitch
I was a resource
and
for the
YouTube.
community, and now I'm no longer able to
You
be
hear
that
a few
resource.
voices. Well, it's a press conference right now.
And we have reached out to the Huntington Beach School District a couple of times today and haven't yet heard back. That's the very latest from Huntington Beach. I'm Rachel Menitoff. I'll send it back to both of you in studio.
Rachel, thank you.
Test. Oh, sound from another video. Interesting. That's why. That's funny. So I have a separate browser so that I can look up videos and check if something's cool or whatever, and you guys can't hear it, but I can. But it flipped. And so another ad was playing or a video on some website, but it was muted for me, but you all can hear it. Interesting. Got it. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I forgot what I was saying. All right, good.
You're going to have the assent, and you're going to have the consent from the European nation.
Oh, yeah. We had a whole ass, like, sovereign nation come over, and he's going to say, well, it takes two to tango. What?
because I think that's important, and from us. I think everybody has to get into a room, so to speak, and we have to make a deal. And the deal can be made very fast. It should not be that hard a deal to make. It can be made very fast. Now, maybe somebody doesn't want to make a deal, and if somebody doesn't want to make a deal, I think that person won't be around very long. That person will not be listened to very long. Because I believe that Russia wants to make a deal. I believe certainly the people of Ukraine want to make a deal. They've suffered more than anybody else.
I actually do have like a separate browser because that's like a fear of mine. Whenever like you go in and I go into like the thing to start typing, like I'm like, it's a fear of mine. It's happened to other people. I'm like, no, my porn is on a different browser that I do not use for streaming. Wait, what did you say?
We talk about suffering. They've suffered, but
can you imagine somebody ask? I know I'm sounding like I'm contradicting myself right here, but can you imagine somebody telling Trump, "Hey, look, there's a lot of people dying right now. Let's it ended up being harder to fight Canada than you thought. Just go ahead and give them the Pacific Northwest. Just go ahead." And if you don't give them the Pacific Northwest, that means you don't care about people, et cetera, or something like that. I just find that funny whenever, we here in the United States talk about giving up land like it's nothing. Interesting.
If you think about it, under President Bush, they got Georgia, right? Russia got Georgia. Under President Obama, they got a nice big submarine base, a nice big chunk of land where they have their submarines. You know that, right? Crimea. Under President Trump, they got nothing. And under President Biden, they tried to get the whole thing. They tried to get the whole big Ukraine, the whole thing.
Wait. So under Trump, they got Georgia. Under Obama, they got Crimea. Under Trump, they got nothing. And then under Biden, they tried to get the whole thing. They still got nothing, though. They got nothing because we gave aid to them. So, I
didn't get in here, they would have gotten the whole thing. So, I can only say, you can go back to Bush, you can go back to Obama, and go back to Biden. They took a lot. The only one they didn't get, you know what I gave them? I gave them anti-tank missiles. That's what I gave them. I gave them sanctions on Russia. I gave them javelins. You know the javelins? You know when they took out all those tanks? You know the tanks were heading to Kiev by the hundreds, and they were unstoppable. And I gave them javelins. So, I really, Putin is the one that will tell you this has not been so good for them. The fact is that I just want fairness. I want fairness. But think of it. I gave Russia nothing except grief.
Who sucked
I
now?
gave them
Who you talking
nothing.
to?
I gave them sanctions and javelins.
Oh.
That's what I gave them. Obama gave them sheets, and you heard that statement before. It's a very famous. Trump gave them javelins, and Obama gave them sheets, and then they say how close I am to Russia. And let me tell you, we have to make a deal because there are a lot of people being killed that shouldn't be killed.
But you don't care about
But
that.
remember, Trump gave them nothing, and the other presidents gave them a lot. They gave them everything.
You met with Argentine President Javier Milei at CPAC. He wants to sign a free trade agreement with the United States. Is that something that you would consider even with Argentina
I'll
or any other
consider
country?
anything. And Argentina, I think he's great, by the way. I think he's a great leader. He's doing a great job. He's doing a fantastic job, brother.
Argentina's president right now is a complete fucking piece of shit. He's like gutting unions and removing worker protections. Of course, he's a great guy doing great things.
They're back from oblivion. Yeah, we'll look at things. We're looking at the UK with things. It doesn't have to be tariffs, but tariffs are easy, they're fast, they're efficient, and they bring fairness. For instance, when people kill their their dollar, their equivalent of the dollar, whether it's the yuan or the yen in Japan or the yuan in China, when they drop them down, that puts us at a very unfair disadvantage. So all I have to do is say, Howard, we're going to have to raise the tariffs a little bit, because I've called President Xi, I've called the leaders of Japan to say you can't continue to reduce and break down your currency. You can't do it because it's unfair to us. It's very hard for us to make tractors, Caterpillar, here when Japan, China, and other places are killing their currency, meaning driving it down. So all of these things add up. And the way I used to phone down.
Oh my God!
We had a lot of them. Very big.
Okay, I can't do that anymore. All right. I'm gonna try to make it through this one. Trump confirms tariffs on key trading partners while pausing military aid to Ukraine. So this was like a few hours ago. They did stop aid to Ukraine. So we'll see how long it lasts, because he's trying to look. Here's what it is. And obviously everyone here gets it, but his followers don't, and the world doesn't get it. He's extorting Ukraine. Literally extorting Ukraine. Because Europe knows it cannot afford to support Ukraine in place of the U.S. Ukraine knows it can, that without U.S. support, they're done. So he's like, hey, we want mineral rights, and we want you to give this land here to Russia. And that's why earlier Trump had to focus on saying, and they wanted the whole thing for Biden. Listen to this. Listen in the future, because I guarantee you Ukraine is going to fold. They're gonna fold. He's gonna fold. The people are going to recall him. If it's just take out the Donbass region or whatever region he's trying to get, fine. Just give it to them. We're tired of dying. And if you don't, they're gonna push on to Kiev, and we don't even have U.S. support anymore. If I were a betting man, I would say that he's probably Ukraine is probably going to eventually accept it. Listen, Kat, I need you to go somewhere. I'm telling you right now, listen to what he's going to be saying. He just said it now, and he wanted the whole thing under Biden. They're going to repeat that over and over and over. That way, when they force Ukraine's hand to carve off the eastern edge of their country and give it to Russia, they can say, hey, we stopped them from taking the whole thing. Ukraine should be happy. Ukraine should be, we're awesome. We're awesome. We were able to stop Russia from taking Ukraine. Doe just found $80 million in wasteful spending. A drop in the bucket, by the way. A drop in the bucket. $80 million when it comes to the amount of money. Look. Let me. I know Trumpers are too stupid to do this, so we'll do this real quick. Here, I'm just gonna ask. What is DOD budget 2024? Oh, nice. Wasn't it over $1 trillion at one point? I thought it was over $1 trillion. But anyways, so what is that? 1%? 10%? 10% of the budget? This is an increase from 26. Oh, million. I'm stupid. Okay. And we're just going to ask it straight up. What? Wait. Someone do public math for me. What percent of 841 billion is 80 million? Look at that right there. So, what did we find in the Defense Department? Pentagon. What did we find? The Defense Department's budget was $841 billion, and they found a waste of 0.01%. 1/100th of 1%. I hope laying off all those VA workers, all those veterans was worth it. That was great. That was great. Okay, yeah, we're gonna watch a little bit of that. Bitcoin falters. I want it to happen. I want Trump, all of Trump's words to like. I want him to say, "Yep, we're gonna do it." I'm gonna sign an executive order next week to make Bitcoin the next currency of the United States of America. And I want everyone to just go out there and put all their life savings into it because they're about to be rich. And just for Trump to go, nah, never mind, it's not going to work out, on purpose. Too bad earlier that morning all his friends were already told he was going to do that. They already pulled the rug, and everybody just loses the bank. Loses their house because you are an idiot. All right, let's check this out.
It's an honor to have President Zelensky of Ukraine, and we've been working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. We had a little negotiation spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we look forward to getting in and digging and working and getting some of the rare earth. But it means we're going to be inside, and it's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate.
So that's a part of like the idea that I'm actually, if you let us have mineral rights, that means we're gonna have Americans in there working and mining, and then Russia can't even risk invading. That's extortion. Exactly what somebody said up earlier. It's just a mob. It's mob tactics. Like, he comes up here, he's like, man, sure would be a problem or something would have happened in a store, as he like takes a bat and pats it in his hand.
Appreciate working with you very much, and we will continue to do that. We have had
good night, man-eater.
Some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to negotiate a deal, but we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen. The big thing is the number of soldiers, mostly at this point, but soldiers being killed. You're losing thousands of soldiers. So on both sides, we're losing a lot of soldiers, and we want to see it stop, and we want to see the money get put to different kinds of use, like rebuilding, and we're going to be working very hard. But we've had a lot of very good conversations. I will say, until we came along, the Biden administration didn't speak to Russia whatsoever. They didn't speak to anybody. They just allowed this to continue. And I will say that, I'll say in front of you, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, if I were president, this war would have never happened. We would have had a deal negotiated for you without having to go through what you've gone through. But your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great credit. This was supposed to be over very quickly, and here we are 3 years later.
Hugo, random question: Why doesn't the left blame the ethnic nationalists from Japan, Korea, and China? They are as bad as Trump. Blame them for what? What exactly are you talking about?
So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself, in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great. We want to get it. It's an honor to have you at a conference and having lunch together with when they an honor.
Thank you for invitation, and really I hope that this document, first document, will be first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our people, our children. I really count on it. And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it. I want to discuss it with details further during our conversation, and of course, the infrastructure or security guarantees. Because for today, I understand what Europe is ready to do, and of course, I want.
This right here. This is the gears turning right here. At this point, when he brings up security guarantees twice, when all that Trump has brought up is a deal with mineral rights, like Trump knows there's only one way that's going to happen, because Putin he's Putin's bitch. It's not the other way around. Putin is going to be like, no, fuck off. You know what I mean? You've already sanctioned us. We're already cut off from the rest of the world. Too bad you don't control all of the world. You know what I mean? We got China, we got BRICS. You know, we got that whole section over there. Iran. Russia will be okay without the United States. So in order to make a deal, you have to give Russia what they want, or else they're going to be like, nah, we're good. And that means giving up part of the country. That's the only way. That's why this is a rock and a hard place type deal, right? And so here he comes in and brings up security guarantees. Now that puts Trump in the corner to be able to, if he doesn't, counter that immediately, or in this meeting rather, then that's kind of like a tacit approval of what he said. Like, wait, he was talking about, security guarantees, and you're just going to let Putin take part of his country? Then you're not a man of your word. So he's going to be pissed off by that.
I want to discuss with you what the United States will be ready to do. And I really count on your strong position to stop Putin. And you said that enough with the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning.
Okay, Dr. Midnight, for sure. Probably, how long is this? We're going to bounce around. I doubt we're going to watch the whole thing. So probably give it like 20, 25 minutes.
At the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to, to save our country, our values, our freedom, democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But it will be later. And
see, he's doing it again. He's setting. Okay, he's right. He's not in the wrong here. But I do see what, now that I'm watching, because I haven't watched this whole thing, where Trump and it's like this. Like right now they're thinking they're listening, but in their head they're like, this bitch, this. Yeah, this is like, I cannot believe he's doing this right now.
Of course, what I wanted, we spoke about it by phone with you, about the drones production. We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world for today because of the war. Yes, and of course, we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you helped us under attacks of Russians. And I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our drones with you, of course, with the United States. And we need licenses for quick production of air defense. Even after the war, we need our nation to be calm, that we're secure. So that's why we need this air shield. And of course, about this, I want to speak about the contingents. I think that France and UK already spoke to you, and we know that Europe is ready, but without the United States, they will not be ready to be as strong as we need. And that
reminds me. Before we start getting too boo-hoo about Zelensky, big Israel supporter. Big Israel supporter. It's just, that's kind of what kind of colors my bitch, just give up half your shit, just like Palestinians have to do. What's wrong?
And the last point, last not least, about exchange, about our people and children. And you know that this crazy Russian, that they stolen 20,000 of children, Ukrainian children. They changed their names. They changed their, their families.
What's going on,
relatives,
DSB?
And now they're in Russia. We want to bring them back.
The last stream on Friday? It was a good one.
Task and goal for me.
Like, if you guys weren't here on Friday, it was a blast. It was like hundreds of people in the chat. Like, Dono's out there. I probably made at least 20 racks that night. It was a blast. When I say hundreds, I mean thousands of people in the chat. It was crazy. It was crazy. Friday. Yeah, you guys missed it. I don't know.
And our warriors. By the way, Mr. President, we brought, we exchanged, released more than 4,000 warriors from Russian prison, but there are thousands more in the prison. I wanted to share with you some images, how it's
combined.
Can I now?
Like it broke like YouTube servers and everything.
1 minute. Just you to understand in what circumstances, in what situation they are, and what the attitude
and that's
of Russia
it.
to our prisoners.
And I had my Ghostface mask on too.
It
broke the internet.
Before and after. And you see before and after, just you to understand. Now thousands of such guys, ladies and men, there, and so they don't eat. They beat them, and they,
That's sad.
They do a lot of bad things. So out of, even during the war, there are rules. Everybody knows there are rules during the war. So these guys, they don't have any rules. You see that 50, 60 kilograms left, and a lot of such things. And I didn't
Trump's
want
like, I don't
to
know
show
what
you
kilograms are.
What the changes.
You need to speak
with
American in the
images
Oval
of children,
Office.
because I will share with you. And I mean, it's looking tragic.
Yep, that's tough stuff.
I wanted very much to give you, and you see.
Yeah.
This is pastor, by the way. They stolen pastors because it's not Russian church. They stolen pastors and moved pastors to the prison. At the end of last year, we brought 3 pastors, and we could exchange them. And this is part. I wanted to show you. Of course, we want.
Questions, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the, how much money is the U.S. going to put into the fund that is being created today, and how does this provide long-term security for Ukraine?
Well, we don't know exactly how much, because we're going to be putting some money in a fund that we're going to get from the raw earth that we're going to be taking and sharing in terms of revenue. So it's going to be a lot of money will be made from the sale and from the use of raw earth. And as you know, our country doesn't have much raw earth. We have a lot of oil and gas, but we don't have a lot of the raw earth. And what we do have is protected by the environmentalists, but that can be unprotected, but still it's not very much. They have among the best in the world in terms of raw earth. So we're going to be using that, using it for all of the things we do, including AI and including weapons and the military, and it's really going to very much satisfy our needs. So it's something that just worked out really well. We have a lot of oil, and we have a lot of gas, we have a lot, but we don't have raw earth.
Yeah,
so,
raw earth, like dirt.
This has just about every component.
This raw earth,
just
like, some dirt,
computers, for
some
all
sand.
Of the things we do. This puts us in great
soil.
shape.
And long-term security for Ukraine. How does this provide?
I think they're going to have great luck. I think once we make the agreement, that's going to be 95% of it. They're not going to go back to fighting. I've spoken with President Putin.
Like nice rocks,
and,
though.
I think,
like
I feel
smooth
very
ones
strong.
that
I've known
skip
them for a
really
long
far.
time, and I feel very strongly that they're very serious about it, and we'll make a deal. And when the deal is made, I don't think. We talk about security. Everyone's talking about the other day. All they talked about was security. I said, let me make the deal first. I have to make the deal first. I don't worry about security right now. We have to have a deal, because right now, last week, 2,000 soldiers died on both sides. 2,000, and they're losing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week. So
look, his heart bleeds. His heart is like breaks for all these Ukrainian and Russian soldiers. We need to stop the death of Russian soldiers. I honestly, I don't know if I think he's lying, actually, because Russian soldiers are white. Of course, I mean, maybe that is actually sad. I don't know.
As we sit here and we talk, people are getting
His heart
shot
bleeds
and
rawer.
dying on the battlefield.
What's going on,
you know,
Bisky?
they're not American soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it.
That's right.
And we want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to. This is a tremendous amount of money, and what the Biden administration did was terrible. They were giving money, but he had no form of protected because the American taxpayer has to be protected too. But this is an incredible agreement for, and what they have, very few people have, and we're able to.
I'm sorry.
This allows us to do this.
I'm sorry.
Military aid. Yes, go ahead, please.
If I can just, yes. In the document, there is one of the very important points. If we speak about business and investment, we never had LNG terminals in Ukraine. This document will open. I mean, the next documents, but anyway, here we see in the framework, we see really goodwill for this. LNG terminals for us is very important, and I think for security of European continent. We have the biggest storage, gas storage. We have the biggest in Europe. Yes, it's. Yeah, we can use
rent free
use it for LNG, use it for LNG, and we will do it. And really, we can help Europe because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot, Mr. President. They did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
No. Okay.
Mr. President.
Hell, maybe that was it. Like, you didn't lie with me, you son of a bitch.
You have repeatedly called the deal with Ukraine as a historical one. And as a president of the United States, you make historical decisions in other issues which affect America and other world. So what place in the world history do you want to take? And do you associate yourself with any famous historical figures?
Yeah, I'd say George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I would say I'm far superior to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Now, you know I'm only kidding, right? Because when I say that, the fake news is going to go wild. They're going to say he considers himself to be better than Washington. But you never know. You never know.
Because you literally say that. And you don't say it like you're joking. You said, I think I am better. You said, no one's done more for black people than maybe Abraham Lincoln, but I think maybe even more than that. And no chuckle, no. Fucking. Yeah, that's yeah. I like that.
I don't compare myself to anybody. I'm here to do a job. We've had a great 35 days or whatever it might be, a month, a little more than a month.
We love you, CG.
We've accomplished tremendous amounts. Not only this would be a very great achievement if we could get the war stopped and get them back to normalization. I think that's going to happen. We've had very good talks on both sides, as you know. But I think we've done a very good job, just generally. If you look at all of the things we've done in 30 days, they're saying there's never been a opening for a president like we've had. We have tremendous death taking place. In Russia,
came to our territory.
Think of the parents of all these people being killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would have, if I were president, this would have never started.
So, okay. Because remember, I haven't seen this. All right. So Trump repeatedly is talking about the deaths of Russian soldiers. Now, that's something I've talked about. I think most people have talked about how fucked it is to be a Russian citizen. Sure, are there some that are like, yeah, sign me up. I want to go kill some Nazi Ukrainians, because that's what they think. Sure. But a lot of them are conscripts, and a lot of them don't have a choice. So what Trump is saying right now is, even though we know he's being disingenuous, right? So I'm not saying that he's being genuine, but what he's saying is there's a lot of death, Ukrainian deaths, Russian deaths, think of their parents, yada, yada, yada. And for some reason, Zelensky does not like hearing that. Zelensky is, they came over here, fuck them. Fuck those military, like, all right, yeah, true. But do you not understand how, like, a state is run? Like, I understand. No one's saying stop killing them as they come, right? No one's saying that you're wrong for killing Russians, but we should stop this war because people are dying on both sides. Like, that's just a regular thing. And now he keeps hearing that, and he's making these, like, under his breath, talking over Trump thing. And I gotta tell you, I fucking hate Trump. If Trump live on TV dropped dead, I promise I would play the fucking crab celebration song here. The bill we've been working on, working group to put a human rights screen on state investments has been fought. Nice. That's what's up. Man, yeah, that shit would not fly in Georgia. Where's the thing at? Chat. I can't put the thing on the screen. It's a chat box. Oh. Nope, that's not it. Interesting. But anyways, putting Zelensky in a 2v1 on camera when he has a language barrier is insane in the first place. So hear me out, though. Hear me out. Man, God. Bleh. I'm not saying that... I got to give all the disclaimers because I don't like saying what I'm about to say. I'm not sure that they plan to jump him like that. As I watch this, I am not sure that I am becoming less and less sure as I watch this that they plan to jump him like that. Now, sometimes you got to say what you need to say. Okay? I get it. Maybe he's like, I don't care. I don't care about decorum. I don't care about, the press is here. I don't care about professionalism. I don't care about that shit right now. I want him to stop fucking feeling bad for Russians, or I feel like I need to say this. Okay, all right. Okay. Maybe you should be able to say whatever you want. But if I am Donald Trump, right? Or I'm the president, and I say to the press, we need to end this war. We need to come to a deal. There are way too many people dying on both sides. And the president next to me, some other president next to me who's asking for my help is like, well, maybe you shouldn't come here in the first place then. Making all these faces and shit. I'm like, bro, I'm about to slap the shit out of you. Like, can you shut the fuck up for a second? Like, I'm just saying that, we know that he's not being sincere about the lives. I'm going to repeat that. We know that Trump is not being sincere about the lies. Trump, Jacobin. It says page has not been found. Or maybe that's because of something. Yeah, hold on. I probably shouldn't click it from there. Yeah, that's a bad link. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. I don't think that Trump is being sincere in the least, but it's a kind of a weird thing to kind of like tank this interview over. Here it is. Ukraine is betrayed by its friend once more. Bet. Yeah, I'll definitely read that. I don't think they plan to jump him, but what the hell are they doing in the first place? They already pissed everyone off in Europe by having a meeting. Yeah, because Trump is a piece of shit idiot, right? He's literally a stupid person, but he knows how to be a mobster. He knows how to twist people's arms. All I'm saying is, and I repeat, I'm not defending Trump here. I'm just looking at Trump is the president, whether I like it or not. Whether my people in my life have anxiety attacks about it, he's the fucking president. He gets to control it, and we just got to fucking hold our breath for 4 years and hope we make it out on the other side. But the fact of the matter is, he's the fucking president. So in the Oval Office, mumbling under your breath, talking about, like, while he's saying the thing, hey, people on both sides, I think that was stupid. That's what I think. I think that was a really unsmart move by Zelensky. Oh, I love it. I want some more of it. The New York Times reported that Biden was trying to do the same mineral deal. What? No, Biden was great. And Kamala was going to be even better. What do you mean that he kept all the what do they call them? The fucking detainment facilities. What do you mean there were children in detainment facilities too? What do you mean he deported more people than Trump has even done? But he was he was doddering and reminded you of his of your grandfather when he was smelling people's hair.
Will you continue sending military aid to Ukraine after the U.S. signs this agreement with Ukraine?
Yeah, we're going to be continuing.
To President Zelensky, do you feel like the U.S. is on your side? That the President Trump is on your side at this moment?
Listen to me, people. Listen. You are a very poor nation dealing with a narcissistic, insane person. That might be ableist, but you know what I'm saying. You get it. This person is a piece of shit. What do you say next? And I come on. You got to be smarter than this. You got to be smarter.
What do you think?
He wants to know, do you think that, sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course, I'm sure that the United States President will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's important for us. Yes. And Putin, the president, speaks about the people and the soldiers which are dying, but they came to our territory, they came to our land.
Come on. There could have been a period right there. There could have been a period. Here, let me put the shoe on the other foot real quick. Maybe he already knows because he's antagonizing a madman. That's why. Because he is a very small, very poor country who is in negotiations with a piece of shit, like a molded pile of feces and vomit shoved into a suit, and you have to make deals with that. So I'm just talking about practicality. I'm just talking about what do you say and why. When I take this opportunity, when that's not a part of the question, do you feel the United States is on your side? Yes, the United States is on my side. Yep, sure is. Now allow me to correct Trump and tell him that I don't like that. And that's on a practical level. On an ethical level, yeah, I think it's kind of shitty to discount Russian deaths, right? I mean, as a humanist, as somebody who understands how the state works and how imperialists are not sending their sons, who the fuck are they sending? People who don't have a choice. People who have to face executions and prison time and shit like that. Yeah, I don't know. So far, he just said the U.S. is on their side and that it's Russia that has gone to their country. But okay, so the U.S. is on their side is connected to the question that he was just asked. See what I'm saying? So that makes sense. Then he goes into the second part, which, even if we don't find anything wrong with it, didn't have to be said. It sounds like he's needlessly antagonizing Trump when we already know Trump is a piece of shit. When the war began in Ukraine, Western leaders spoke of solidarity, defending the sovereign state of Ukraine. Yet it is important to look beyond what was said and to study what was actually being. Is this from the article? Or did you prep this? Because this is some control V-ing right here. Words are cheap, deeds weigh heavy. The same leaders who moralized about Ukraine's sovereignty did everything to pull the rug from under its feet when they started using Ukraine's $152 billion plus government debt, more than 70%, which is foreign owned, as leverage for initiating the largest post-1990s privatization scheme on behalf of Western corporations. Orchestrated by BlackRock. While BlackRock, the largest U.S.-based capital fund in the world, has insisted on immediate repayments even under conditions of an ongoing war, international government donors have extended the credit line until the end of the war. This, however, appears to be approaching fast. Ingar Solti. Okay, yeah, so that's a excerpt from the Jacobin article that he linked earlier. Yeah, none of these people are sincere. Every single party, whether it was Biden, like, it doesn't matter who it is. It's like vultures just circling, right? And then here's this fucking coyote coming up on this rabbit, and they're like, "Man, I hope he doesn't eat all of that." And then the vultures start going into like meetings and like, "Hey, what you got? What you got for me?" As he's bleeding out, as his entrails are on the floor, and he's like, I can help you out. I can scare this coyote off, but what you got? What you got in those pockets? What you got on you?"
Begin this war, and they have to stop. And I think this is the question, with really the most important question. Can President Trump, I hope yes, with some other allies, to stop Putin, withdraw these enemies, our enemy, withdraw these troops from our land? And I think that you asked about the history, I think that if President, or when, he will stop Putin, if President Trump will bring peace to our country, I think he will be on this wall.
We've had very, very good talks.
Okay, listen. Trump is trying to move past it. He's irritated because Zelensky's trying to position himself for negotiations by putting this in front of cameras, which I thought maybe that's a smart move. You know, it's risky. I don't think it played out in his favor, considering that the U.S. just paused aid. But just note that Trump is trying to move on. We'll see who comes back to it. I don't know. Maybe it'll be JD Vance, actually.
What about military aid to Ukraine?
President Zelensky just said that there would be no compromises with
See, now the press is being antagonistic. They're like, nah. Yeah, he just called you a bitch. You gonna let him say that shit? You gonna let him say that?
I just wanted to ask both of you. Firstly, are there compromises that you think that President Zelensky is going to have to make? And President Zelensky, is there anything that you might be thinking that you may be able to offer or bring to the table, for example, elections? Thank you.
I think you're going to have to always make compromises. You can't do any deals without compromises. So certainly he's going to have to make some compromises, but hopefully they won't be as big as some people think they're going to have tonight. That's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator to a certain extent between two parties that have been very hostile. To put it mildly, they've been very hostile. This has been a vicious war. There's been a
now he's both sizing it. All right, I would say right about right now is where Trump is. I still don't think it's smart to like push back because you know you're going to be screwed in the end. But I guess at this point it's like, all right, this is Trump saying some bullshit now.
Vicious war. You know, it's a very level battlefield, and those bullets go out.
That's
and
the press.
Said many times, we were talking about it with Pete. Many times, the only thing stopping those bullets is a human body, and in the case we're talking, that's what.
You think, Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the president that led this country into another war and ended foreign wars? And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important.
Sure.
So I hope I'm going to thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice question. I hope I'll be known and recognized your situation.
Thank you for that question. That's why you're allowed in here. Anybody else who doesn't have any good questions like that, you can join AP News outside.
You know, this could, if this was a mandate, we want every the district and.
No, peacemaker like the gun.
Said we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this would have. That would.
Do you ever, in this country, you're at the highest. Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level.
Oh, here we fucking go. Here we fucking go. And we're off.
Situation. What was your second question?
Yeah, my second question for President Zelensky.
Apparently, this guy who's talking right now is Marjorie Taylor Greene's the caveman in Congress. Oh, what happened here? Oh no, mother bitch. This is they're dating. They're dating. The guy who's asking this is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend or some shit. I don't know.
One American News, sir. Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. I like the question. I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway.
Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be war?
If we could do this, I consider that to be this was headed to win this election. The popular vote, the air. I think this would have, that would.
Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest. Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's.
And he's such a that JD Vance's laugh right there. God, man, I want to fight that dude. I want to fight him. I would love to just fucking. I don't care. It doesn't even have to be fair. I'll just sucker punch him one time before Secret Service can catch me.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting the dignity of this office.
Nah. Nobody gives a fuck. You're making up shit. Literally, no one gives a fuck that he's not in a suit. You know, like, does anybody ever heard of fucking John Fetterman? Fucking another caveman who only wears hoodies. Unless he's talking to Ben Gvir, fucking what's his name? Brain farting. You know what I'm talking about. The president of Israel.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Prime Minister.
Okay. Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like
yours.
Yes,
Yeah.
In this office.
Yeah, he wears a suit. I mean, he wears what he wears to be in solidarity with his troops. And I think he has said something along those lines, saying that yeah, exactly, DSB, saying that he's not gonna, he's not gonna wear a suit, until the war is over or something like that. Which, hey, respect. Elon Musk, yeah, yeah. Why don't you wear an why don't you wear a blazer with a Half-Life T-shirt underneath? So people could think you're a gamer. Then we can give you some respect.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
I will wear a costume after the war. I like that shit. I like that.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this.
Something like
Yes,
yours,
sir.
yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fucking what a fucking idiot.
Thank you, President Trump. You said yesterday that you have.
Are you going to send more arms to Ukraine in case there's no peace?
Yeah, we're going to have arms to Ukraine, yeah, sure. Hopefully I won't have to send very much because hopefully we're going to have it finished. We're looking forward to finishing this quick. We'll finish the agreement because the fair will start. We don't have to send much because very quickly.
Does that still provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. I'm not security is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know other. We have in this country. Will Sinkin just the other day.
Yeah.
They have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need
No,
much
I'm with you.
security.
This is a
deal
clown
done,
show.
it's
This is a
over.
clown show.
Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody.
That's why we're watching it on Twitch.
When this deal ends,
Like, think about it. Like, think about the days when politics. Not saying that politics was like, oh, back in the good old days, right? But it's like it used to be boring, right? All the evil shit happened like not on TV, and now we're on YouTube and Twitch, watching this shit. It is a fucking clown show. It is a circus. It is embarrassing.
I really believe this deal.
Mr. President praised re-engaging Russia in diplomatic relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward?
What a fucking kiss ass. What a fucking ass kisser. Sir, President Trump, I just wanted to know, like, is it hard being able to walk with a penis as huge as yours is? Like, I mean, I can only imagine, going from meeting to meeting, carrying this giant penis of yours. It must be grueling. Thank you for doing that on behalf of the American people.
Forward and lead that.
Oh, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. I like the question. I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway to getting something solved. And I feel that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that. Plus, we're very much involved. We got involved. One call broke money, and they gave a lot of that to solve, to try something about it.
Yeah, really?
Even though I have to...
If I can answer. Yes, if I can answer.
Please,
sorry. Please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think he's dressed. I think he's dressed.
I like this guy.
I think he's dressed beautifully.
So I have more serious things than answer on such questions. I will answer on more serious questions if I can. Yeah. So please, about security guarantees and about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire.
One area
and speak
news,
and
yeah.
speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will never work because I'm like a president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken his own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke.
No, you were the president.
That's it. I think we found it. He said, "Now it was you. It was you." I love it. That's fucking great. That's great. I wish he wasn't a Zionist piece of shit. Oh man, that was great.
He had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods. He had conversations with our side, and we had Normandy format. The France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia, and he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees. Security guarantees. Maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough. Because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, he knows that we have, all the world knows that we have meeting, yes? Why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic. on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security. When we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop. If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents, strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance connection between the United States as the main and strongest ally and Europeans. And this is crucial. This is important. That's what we want to speak about.
Because of money, just like we said earlier, because of the money, they cannot afford to cut out the United States.
Very much. This is very important. And air defense. So, air defense, really, we have big deficit with all these systems, and we need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop, and will go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us, you know? It's not about me. He hates Ukrainians.
Yeah, exactly.
He thinks that we are not a nation.
Welcome to the chat, Amanda.
He shared these thoughts. I think maybe with your team also. I don't know. But with all the Europeans.
All right, take care, John Stewart.
In media, officially or not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language. In fact, we are the top. This is rule of the war. They have to pay this question. This is the rule. This is rule of the war. This is the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began?
Oh, a kidney. Damn, I just read that. And good luck, John Stewart.
Putin began this war. He has to pay.
I got a problem. Sometimes I read shit and I read like the first 3 words and I'm like, yeah, I know what it's saying. You know, he's leaving. And then I read the whole thing. It's like, gotta see a man about a kidney. Yeah. Hey, hopefully he's still around. Hopefully, wish him his best health if you talk to him daily.
All money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion, we can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States also. We can do it, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
I am Scowen. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate you.
Because I wanted to know.
Wait 1 second.
I asked this question that you didn't like because I wanted to know if you want to position yourself in the middle between Russia and Ukraine, or on the Ukraine's.
No, I'm in the middle. I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved, and it's wonderful to speak.
Yeah, NATO is the U.S. Yeah.
Somebody else, but I want to get it solved. If we can solve it, great. If we can't solve it, they're going to have to fight it out, and who knows what's going to happen. But I want to see it get solved.
May I follow up? One more question.
Look. It's really, really hard to get imperialism done without our backing, you know? So what do you expect them to do? What do you expect them to do? Like, look, we can't. How do we continue to exploit the global South if we don't have the United States in our back pocket? Come on.
Question about U.S. troops in Europe. After Russian invasion of Ukraine, your predecessor sent additional troops to Eastern Europe, including Poland, my country.
Yeah.
Are you committed to keeping these troops on the eastern flank of NATO in the future?
I'm very committed to Poland. I think Poland has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. As you know, they paid more than they had to. They are one of the finest groups of people I've ever known. I'm very committed to Poland.
What about Baltics?
Poland's in a tough neighborhood, you know.
What about the Baltics?
The Baltics.
Well, I'm just talking about the way the EU and NATO operates. Just talking about big picture, right? The reason why the EU won't back Ukraine if the U.S. pulls out, because of how important the United States is with regard to money and everything else in imperial efforts.
They got a lot of. It's a tough neighborhood too, but we're committed. We're going to be very committed, and we're committed to NATO. But NATO has to step up, and the Europeans have to step up more than they have. And I want to see them equalize, because they are in for far less than we're in, and they should be at least equal. You understand that? Why is the United States, we have an ocean in between. Why is the United States in for so much more money and other things as Europe? With that being said, and as you said, they've also been obviously very helpful. But we have put in far more than they have. And I think they should equalize.
Mr. President,
please, go ahead.
Ask you about the agreement again today. What changed between the first time that Secretary Bessent gave President Zelensky the agreement and today for the signing?
We made a deal. So
what was the deciding factor?
I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed.
Mr. President,
I didn't think we were going to make a deal, and we ended up making the deal, so that changed.
Mr. President, what and how do you envision a trilateral summit with President Zelensky and Putin?
I don't know, but well, they don't like each other. I can tell you that. Okay? They do not like each other. This is not a love match, and it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation. The United States should not have allowed this to happen. Okay? The United States, run by a man that didn't know much. I'm going to be very nice. Run by an incompetent person, very incompetent person, should never have allowed this to happen. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. My people will tell you, I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Yeah,
But this should have never happened.
Sorry, just a second. About any negotiations. First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, more than Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war. But at the future, any negotiations, it's understandable that two sides of the
Here's
war,
my puppy.
not Russia and the
Yeah.
United States, because this is not the war between Russia and the United States. This is war of Russia against Ukraine and Ukrainian people. So these two sides will be at the anyway will be at the negotiation.
Only if you have a death wish.
Negotiation table. Then of course United States, like the strongest partner of the Ukraine, and of course Europe. I think Europe is very important.
Wait, he said the Ukraine. I had to like force myself to unlearn the Ukraine, and he just said it. Bastards.
I want to speak about it with the president. Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending line, and they have real life, and our people are dying.
Yeah,
That's why the president said, you have big, nice ocean. Yes, between us. But if we will not stay, Russia will go further to
Is this it?
Baltics and to Poland, by the way. But first to the Baltics. It's understandable for them because they've been in the USSR. You know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR, and Putin wants to bring them back to his empire. It's a fact. And when he will go there, if we will not stay, you will fight. Your American soldiers, it doesn't matter, do you have ocean or not, your soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you be willing to visit Ukraine, maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is supposed to be at the Riviera or Black Sea?
It was my question.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about Odessa now. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about making a deal, getting peace. We don't have to talk about Odessa, but a lot of cities have been destroyed. A lot of cities that are not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
No.
And a lot of things have to
Mr. President, you have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive, and people work, and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go to underground.
I guarantee you, Trump does not like it sounds innocent, right? And it is. I think he's just like, oh no, nothing's wrong. But I guarantee you, what Trump is not used to, and what JD Vance is getting very, very upset with this whole thing right now is contradicting Trump. Like, you just don't do it. You don't do it. You don't contradict Trump. If the U.S. keeps this war going, it will only empower the EU to sacrifice the European welfare states and democracies on the altar of war producers like all those companies. By the end of the decade, this liberalism will help ensure we are not ruled just by President Trump and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, but also President Marine Le Pen, Prime Minister, and all them.
Ground schools or online, but we live. Ukraine is fighting and Ukraine lives. This is very important.
Is that it?
And maybe it's Putin is sharing this information that he destroyed us. No, he lost 700,000 people, 700,000 soldiers. He lost everything. Yes. So,
Mr. President, one more.
Which, by the way, is fucking baffling, mind-blowing. Like, you are working your way to 750,000 people dead. It blows my mind.
Please, go ahead.
When did you last speak with President Putin, and what did he say that?
A couple of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good, and I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax.
Oh, shut the.
It was all that.
Yeah, Yep.
That's all I do.
Crazy.
That's what I do. My whole life, that's what I do is make deals. And I'm just one. If this doesn't help, we're going to get it solved. In the back, please.
Yeah, Ukraine is definitely on the defense, right? Russia is the aggressor, but the fact of the matter is that the only people benefiting off of this is the military-industrial complex, 100%. Now, again, just to repeat what I said earlier, no, Trump does not want to do this for, moral reasons. Trump is trying to benefit out of it. He's going to benefit by giving a little bit of Ukraine to Russia, and then he can use that as leverage. He can benefit by saying he ended the war. He can benefit by, getting mineral rights, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. I think this is a different situation than with Biden. I think Trump is trying to end the war, for his own pockets, But it just may be Ukraine who says, "Fuck it, no, we're not going to do that, and you're gonna have to exterminate us." It might be.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Starmer claimed repeatedly that his government believes in free speech and was not engaged in censorship. But his country's government arrests people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring American companies to censor Americans on his behalf. How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false on such an important topic?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD
Remind me what I said. Was a little bit, what did I say a little bit was?
Was very strong on it. So was I. So was Marco. And we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about that?
Yeah, we have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of various, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of British or any country's jurisdiction. And so this is a point that Vice President made in Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one, that what unites us with Europe, as much as anything else, is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
100%.
It's actually a very important question.
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch yesterday. And I know that Secretary of Commerce Lutnick followed up in private meetings last night. This is really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind.
Really? Really? Huh? Hold on a second. Wait. Hold on a second. Because I am pretty sure, oh, that's weird. Oh, that's weird. Wait a minute. Certain conduct of members of Antifa as domestic terrorism and designating Antifa as domestic terrorist organization. That can't be right. That can't be right. Maybe I'm misreading it.
In the public square, which is often online these days. And we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies and American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the President's leadership, we're going to find find common ground with our friends in the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country and we'll fight for it.
Is he wearing eyeliner?
For American citizens.
Mr. President, on the deal, is there any other oil and gas component to the deal? Is it all critical?
A little bit. We'll see.
On LNG?
But we're not really looking for that so much. We got a lot. We have more than anybody in the world, by far. So no, we're not talking about it too much, but a little bit. I think it affects also, but for the most part, no.
And sir, is there any agreement from Ukraine to purchase U.S. LNG as part of the deal, or is that on the table at all?
No, we don't need that.
Some of those
Mr. President, I
minerals
just
are in
wanted
the
to ask
east,
you
Mr.
about
President.
you just mentioned that you'd spoken to Vladimir Putin a couple of days ago. Just to be clear, that's a new call, not the one that you
I've spoken to him on numerous occasions.
Okay. And how was the latest call? What did you discuss? How did it go?
Are you serious with that question?
I am. I'd love to know.
It went well. I think we're going to have a deal.
On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has occupied. Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if there's U.S. interest?
Well, we'll take a look at the time. We have a lot of area. It's a very big area we're talking about, so we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect those minerals if they are U.S. interests? Would that be Ukrainian
They'll be
forces?
protected. The
European
agreement will protect them.
U.S.
The
forces?
agreement, yeah, we're signing an agreement. You know?
Right, but what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in those spots?
I just told you, I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder why.
You know, they ought to focus on CNN on survival, not asking me these ridiculous questions. Focus on surviving.
So remember, what were the questions? If the minerals that you want are in the east that Russia wants in this deal, what are you going to do? Are you going to tell them to leave that area so that remains in Ukraine so that you get those minerals? That's a ridiculous question. If Russia says, I don't care that your people are there, and they enter Ukraine anyway, are you willing to use U.S. forces to protect those miners, right? I'm assuming. That is a ridiculous question. Interesting.
Because CNN's got such low ratings, I don't think they're going to survive. Let's go. Please, go.
I already mentioned Poland. Poland was under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States not only as a most
JD Vance is
powerful
such a
country,
fucking
right?
bitch. Oh, I hate that
The
motherfucker.
country that has great music, great.
I think I might hate JD Vance for toxic reasons too. I need to do some self-reflection, because if I'm being honest right now, I think I fucking hate JD Vance more than Trump. I gotta chew on that one.
Movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I can be tougher than any human being you've ever seen.
Any human being in the whole world.
But you're never going to get a deal that way. So
they say
that's
I'm
where
the
it goes.
toughest.
All right, one more question.
You've never seen tougher.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace And the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
All right, y'all ready? Y'all got your popcorn ready? It took a little while. We paused, so probably about an hour now. And ladies and gentlemen, the main event.
he occupied it, our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and
2014.
Yeah. So
I was
he killed,
not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly
but,
right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange.
Imperial policy is about geopolitical and geoeconomic interests, and the empires drop allied countries like hot potatoes if they are no longer of interest.
No.
Business. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to.
Oh, here we go. Wait, hold on. Russia does not want war. Russia wants adequate and unarmed neighbors. You don't believe that, right? You don't believe that. Is that what you think he wants? You think, oh, I have to go take Ukraine now because they're a danger to me. So ever since Trump said that he wasn't his pick, this guy's been looking for opportunities here. And now he's going to show daddy what a big boy he is.
You come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count one.
I have actually.
I've seen it on Google Maps. That was pretty. SNL's thing on this is pretty good, actually.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people.
Bro, I got YouTube. I know exactly what happens in Ukraine, okay?
Bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now.
Here we go. Now, let me give you a peek into their brains. So JD Vance is sitting there and needs to impress daddy. This is my chance. To get that seal of approval that I've never got from my own father, and I can get it from him now. In Trump's head, I gotta tell you, in this particular exchange, Trump has probably been the least offensive. And I know the bar is low, but I think Trump has been the least offensive that I've seen him in a while. I think he's trying to be diplomatic here, but now Trump sees JD Vance swing his dick around and is like, well, I'm not going to look like the pansy here. I'm not going to be here and try to be like all calm. Wow, JD Vance is going to outman me? No. You're not going to outman me. I'm going to be the man here. So what does Trump do?
But you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to
see. I'm tough too.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
See, and this is what I mean. This is this like this bullshit like man like I'm a man. Here, look at my dick. This is what this is about. He's not even really hearing him. Zelensky is saying, if you don't stop Putin, he's not Putin. It's basically what everyone says. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. The claim is that Putin's not going to stop and the United States is going to feel the effects of it economically or whatever. But Trump wants to go, you're in no position to dictate that? What is he dictating? Good night, CG. For real this time. Got it. Good night. I appreciate you coming through and the support.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No.
Do you even have manners? Do you even have manners?
In this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words
Are you
of
mad?
appreciation.
Oh, now we get what's going on here. Like, you campaigned for Kamala, and you're mad about that. I see.
America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't been
in this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment,
Did he just push him?
they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, if you didn't have our
I couldn't be president, bro. I could not be president. I could not. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Man. If you me and you are in a heated kind of like back and forth, we can keep it that way. But I don't know how I would be able to handle like a nudge like that. Like that shit would just, it would be boop. And I'll black out and you wake up, you're covered in blood. It's not good for anybody.
military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going.
What a bitch. Yep. No, actually, you know what? No, that's right. And yep, you're right. You're right. Wow. I cannot believe I was wrong like that. I will apologize later.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what,
that
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means.
That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is, Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make. Because
Do we have Russians in the chat? Are you Russian? CCA1 CC alter ego?
Attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
Look at this. Look, he's about to say something. He's like, if somebody doesn't stop people from contradicting my president.
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he already checked you earlier when he said he absolutely did break agreements while you were president, dumbass.
He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this.
So because there's Russian people in Ukraine that are being mistreated, right? Ethnically Russian, but citizens of Ukraine, I'm assuming you mean. Because if they weren't citizens of Ukraine, they could just leave and go back to Russia. But if citizens of Ukraine who are ethnically Russian are being mistreated, then that means Putin is justified in invading a sovereign country because to protect ethnically Russian people? That's ridiculous. Alter ego. Come on. Like, it's like you're not trying. You're just like repeating dumb shit.
Might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together.
Look at these. Man, but, hey guys, isn't Trump fucking hilarious? Trump is fucking hilarious. Where are we at? 3 hours? Okay. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I want to watch this. We're already at 3 hours, so we're not gonna watch it tonight. How many people? Let me see something real quick. If you're in the chat, and how many people would like to watch this tomorrow night? Like, is this or maybe a Discord watch party would be better, because I think we're definitely not watching it tonight, but I think I want to do like either stream it or do a Discord watch party. For those who aren't in the Discord, here's the link, and please join and have these conversations. You know, obviously this is a leftist community, but I welcome dissent. I welcome, arguing. I'll argue back. But the fact of the matter is that I would like to think that most of us are kind of on the same side, even if we disagree how to get there. I mean, unless you're a right winger or some shit. So join the Discord, be a part of the conversation if you'd like. Trying to decide. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Here, Left Face, we will watch Gaza, How to Survive a Warzone. And we will start 8 o'clock sharp, because I don't have to prep for anything. We're going to come on to watch this together. And, yeah. So be here. And if not, I'll see you on Thursday over on the channel Blurred Without Fear for some Nerds of Culture, or back right here on Friday for the Fallout Report. And I just want to let you know to make sure you all take care of yourself. Remember, joy's radical. Yeah, that's all I have. I love you all. Take care, and goodbye.